Peace everybody, back with another video. This is Mayor Lori Lightfoot fires Chicago police superintendent weeks before his retirement. Eddie Johnson initially lied to me. So, Eddie Johnson got fired by the mayor of Chicago today because he lied to her. And as you can see here in the screenshot is the mayor, Lori Lightfoot. Mayor Lori Lightfoot fired Police Superintendent Eddie Johnson effective immediately Monday for initially misleading her and the public about his conduct when he was found asleep in his running vehicle at a stop sign after a late weeknight out in October. So Eddie Johnson was sleeping in his car. He lied to her to say, oh no, he wasn't. But a video tells 1,000 stories, and of course it picked up what happened. Mayor Lori Lightfoot fired him, of course, effective immediately Monday, which is today. He was found asleep in his running vehicle at a stop sign after a late weeknight out in October. So this happened in October, that he was found asleep in his running vehicle. This moment needs to be a turning point for the Chicago Police Department and the way things are done in this city, said Lightfoot, emphasizing that culture change must take place. So, of course, Eddie Johnson, everybody's been trying to get rid of him, and of course, but in this case, the mayor had something to do with it this time. She said that this moment needs to be a turning point for the Chicago Police Department and the way things are done in this city. Because, the Chicago Police Department is corrupt. They take police reports and they edit them to hide the truth of what really happened. And, you can never trust the Chicago Police Department. The stunning announcement came just weeks after Lightfoot held what she referred to Monday as a celebrity press conference to announce Johnson's retirement by year's end after about 3.5 years at the helm. So Eddie Johnson was going to be retiring at the end of this year, but Lightfoot had something a little different. She told him that he was fired because she had no choice because of what he did, and of course he lied to her. Former Los Angeles Police Chief Charlie Beck, previously named Johnson's interim successor, was on a flight to Chicago and would immediately take control of the belligerent department, Lightfoot told reporters. So Charlie Beck was a Los Angeles police chief. He was previously named Johnson's interim successor. He was on a flight to Chicago and would immediately take control of the belligerent department. Of course, the Chicago Police Department is not what you think it is. You think they're all peaches and cream? No, they're not. The Chicago Police Department is not all peaches and cream because they're all liars. He'll be here this afternoon, she said. The mayor said she personally delivered the news to Johnson Monday morning. She gave 3 reasons for dumping him. Yeah, so she gave reasons why she said goodbye to him. She also delivered the news to Johnson Monday morning, so I know he wasn't taking it too well. But it had to be done. That he engaged in conduct that is not only unbecoming, but demonstrated a series of ethical lapses and flawed decision-making in the incident in October. So he engaged in a conduct that is not only unbecoming, but demonstrated a series of ethical lapses. So, and with him by getting caught sleeping in the car, yes, then you're going to get fired. That the superintendent called a news conference later the day of the incident in which he communicated a narrative replete with false statements, all seemingly intended to hide the true nature of his conduct from the evening before. So he was lying about what he was doing. He said, "Oh, I wasn't sleeping in a car, I was this and that." No, 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 no. He was caught sleeping in his vehicle, literally. That Johnson initially lied to the mayor several times, even when I challenged him about the narrative that he shared with me. Johnson could not immediately be reached Monday for comments, so she challenged the chief superintendent, and of course, he would not respond, of course, of all this and about the narrative that he shared with her. Johnson could not immediately be reached Monday for comment, so there was nowhere to find him, I guess. Just last month, in announcing Johnson's impending resignation, Lightfoot had praised him for his calming influence after taking over a department reeling from the court-ordered release of police dashboard camera video showing a white officer shoot black teen Laquan McDonald 16 times, and I have done every single video on that story all the way through from beginning to end. And if you want to see those videos, you can go to my main channel because I have them all there, and there it is. All of them are there. But she did praise him for that, at least, because the camera video showing about a white officer. Johnson had been plucked from relative scrutiny as chief on patrol in April 2016, when then Mayor Rahm Emanuel bypassed 3 finalists chosen by the Chicago Police Board and appointed him superintendent. So this is when Rahm Emanuel was mayor at the time. He bypassed 3 finalists chosen by the Chicago Police Board and appointed him superintendent. So that's what Rahm Emanuel did. On Monday, Lightfoot told reporters she had reviewed the city inspector general's report into the October incident and videotaped evidence that left her with no choice but to fire Johnson. Yeah, so she saw the reports, she saw the videotape, all of it was evidence, and she had no choice but to fire him. I saw things that were inconsistent with what Mr. Johnson had told me personally and what he revealed to members of the public, she said. So there were certain things he told her, but the public, they had something else they were listening to instead of coming out with the real truth. With the Inspector General's report still not public, Lightfoot declined to be more specific about what the videotape evidence showed, but hinted that it would be hurtful to Johnson's family. Now, first of all, why drag the family in the middle of it? This has nothing to do with Eddie Johnson's family. This only has to do with him and his reckless behavior that he has done. He did not tell Lori Lightfoot the truth about anything. He lied to her several times, and of course, when a man lies, they're always going to be a liar for life, no matter what. But the family has nothing to do with this story at all. So I don't know why they're sticking his family in the middle of everything, and all of this mess, I should say. While at some point the IG's report may become public and those details may be revealed, I don't feel like it's appropriate or fair to Mr. Johnson's wife or children to do so at this time, she said. Well, she's saying that she don't want to do it at the appropriate time in front of his family, but like I said, this is not about his family. It's not about his wife. It's not about his kids. It's only about Mr. Johnson himself. Officers responding to a 911 call found Johnson asleep in his parked car near his home at about 12:30 a.m. on October 17th. Officers let him drive home without testing for whether he had been drinking, a decision Johnson later defended, saying, "Someone asleep in a car doesn't mean they're impaired." So there was officers responding to a 911 call. They found Johnson asleep in his parked car near his home, and this is around 12:30 a.m. on October 17th. A decision later, Johnson later defended, saying someone asleep in a car doesn't mean they're impaired. Johnson blamed the incident on his failure to take his blood pressure medication after suffering a blood clot this past summer. He said his cardiologist has recently adjusted his medication. The superintendent said he removed the old medication from his weekly pill box, but had not yet obtained the new prescription. So now he's blaming it on his medication, his blood pressure medicine. He also suffered a blood clot this past summer. And he said his cardiologist has recently adjusted his medication. Well, if he knew that he was having a blood clot, he should have changed his eating habit. I mean, get off of soul food, get off of greasy foods that you cannot have, this and that, get away from sweets or anything like that. And this is what he should have done, but he didn't. The superintendent said he removed the old medication from his weekly pill box, but had not yet obtained the new prescription. So he wasn't even taking the new medication yet. Johnson said he had been tired after a long day at work that Wednesday, but went out to dinner with friends at night. He said he felt ill as he drove home from the dinner. Well, why didn't he go to the hospital? Why go home? He should have went to the hospital. And, well, yeah, of course you're tired after a long day at work, but still. And he said he felt ill as he drove home from the dinner. He could have gone right to the hospital and said, "Look, doctor, I need help. I don't feel well." That's what he should have went to the hospital for. How can I explain it? It's just your body kind of gives you a warning with the high blood pressure thing that you may pass out. So I pulled over, stopped, and I just rested myself until that feeling passed, he said. So he couldn't even explain it, but he said that he gives you a warning with the high blood pressure thing that you may pass out. So he pulled over and stopped and just rested himself until that feeling passed, he said. Well, why didn't his wife drive him home? That would have been easier. His wife should have drove him home. Johnson has not explained why he was driving home from a dinner engagement at 12:30 a.m., particularly on a day he said he felt fatigue. So, yeah, he didn't explain this. And why he was driving home from a dinner engagement, and this happened around 12:30 a.m. And his course is particularly on a day he said he felt fatigue. Anthony Guglielmi, the police department's chief spokesman, previously released a statement saying alcohol did not play a role in the incident. So there was no alcohol involved, but if you're still feeling like you're not feeling well, go to the hospital, talk to a doctor. But Johnson also admitted to Lightfoot that he had a couple of drinks with dinner, the mayor previously said. Alright, so the mayor says that Eddie Johnson had a couple of drinks, but do we know what kind of drinks? No. It could be any kind of drinks. It could have been a beer, maybe wine. Who knows? Had Lightfoot known all of the facts, she wouldn't have participated in a celebratory news conference with Johnson announcing his retirement, she said. So if she would have known about all this, it would have never happened. A celebratory news conference with Johnson. At Monday's news conference, Lightfoot said that time and again, rank and file police officers were held accountable for wrongdoing, but that supervisors got a pass even when the supervisors were aware or directed the conduct at issue. She said it at a Monday's news conference that time and again rank and file police officers were held accountable for wrongdoing. So anything that the police officers do, they are going to be held accountable. The old Chicago way must give way to the new reality, the mayor said. Ethical leadership, integrity, accountability, legitimacy, and yes, honesty must be the hallmark of city government. So either they're going to have to tell the truth or just get fired. And in Eddie Johnson's case, he got fired for not telling the truth to Lori Lightfoot. But she did say ethical leadership, integrity, accountability, legitimacy, and yes, honesty must be the hallmarks of city government. Lightfoot pushed a similar message in an email obtained by the Tribune that she sent to the department's 13,400 sworn-in civilian members. So that's a whole lot of people that she sent to the department's 13,400 sworn-in civilian members. While I recognize the news comes as a surprise to most of you, this was a decision I felt was absolutely necessary to preserve the legitimacy and honor of the Chicago's police department. I deeply respect the work that each of you undertake every day, and you deserve a superintendent who lives up to the ideals that I expect each of you to exemplify. First of all, the Chicago Police Department never has honor because they rely on their police reports. They cover everything up, and they never tell the truth about nothing. Even though the truth was right in front of them, they never told the truth on the police report. Oh, well, this person did this and this, and no, they never tell the truth about nothing. In his own department-wide memo, Beck, who was LA's police chief for 9 years, called it an honor and privilege to serve as interim superintendent. So you got this Beck guy who was LA's police chief for 9 years, called it an honor and privilege to serve as interim superintendent. So does that mean he's going to take over or what? That's up to Lori Lightfoot of what she's going to do with him. I know that the evidence of this morning likely caused a great deal of unease, but rest assured, this department is stable, strong, and headed in the right direction, the memo said. And yeah, when is anything ever in the right direction? People have protested outside of the police department because of everything that happened here and there. The police department, they would not even respond to most comments that they were requested for. They said, "Oh, by Northwest Side Aid area Reboiras 30th, who chaired the City Council Public Safety Committee at the time of Johnson's appointment as superintendent, said it was unfortunate Lightfoot had to fire him. He said the mayor called him Monday morning to inform him of her decision." Yeah, well, she had to make the right decision by firing him after he lied to her several times because he was caught sleeping in his vehicle. There's nothing that can go past her. Once she realizes something, yeah, she's gonna do what's right, and it's her decision alone. I was hoping he would be able to finish his term quietly, barring any other information coming to light, Reboiras said, but it evidently learned something and decided that wasn't an option. She had to act. It's just a shame because I think the world of Eddie Johnson, and this is just another hit on the police department, which is doing better than it gets credit for. Crime stats have been trending in the right direction, and then something like this happens. It's just too bad. But as mayor, sometimes you have to act abruptly based on the information you get, and this was evidently one of those times. Yeah, because she was doing her job, even though she didn't want to, but she had to. And of course, the Chicago Police Department are going to want to wake up now because it's like, oh, we can't lie to the mayor. No, of course not. You should never lie to the mayor. And this is what Eddie Johnson did. He lied to her so many times that it was a hard decision to make for her to do. She had no choice. In spite of Johnson's firing, Jason Irwin, 28, said he would be remembered for the successes on his watch. So he'll be remembered for all his successes. "I think Eddie Johnson as superintendent did a good job," said Irwin, chairman of the City Council Black Caucus. "Crime is down. I think that he came in at a tough time and provided some stability and some leadership." And since when is crime ever down in Chicago? Because you got people killing each other every day out there, whether it's stabbing, guns, children are getting kidnapped, women are getting hurt. Seriously, when is crime ever down? It's never down. It's a 24/7 killing spree out there. That's why Chicago is named the murder capital. Irwin said he didn't believe that Johnson's dismissal would hurt efforts to reform the police department. So this is what he was saying, that he didn't believe that Johnson's dismissal would hurt efforts to reform the police department. First of all, you can't even reform the police department, let alone deal with the police department, because of everything that went on at the department. Police officers are hiding this and that in their police report. They're covering everything up, and there's like, wow, and people are believing the lies that they put out. So this is why you can never trust the Chicago Police Department at all. And whatever decision Eddie Johnson is going to do, I hope that he finds some help or do something, because his lying cost him his job, and she had no choice but to fire him. So this is why she did what she did. Leave your comments below. I am out.